Hello, welcome back to my FC24 Kit Quest Manager Career Mode with Tottenham Hotspur and Alejo Véliz. So the kit we're going for is the Taupe Hayes third kit from the 2023-2024 season. And we're going to recap the 2027-2028 campaign. If you remember last time out, we did a domestic double, winning the Premier League for the second time in a row and then capturing the FA Cup. This season, the goal is kind of basically pretty much not like completely ignoring the Premier League, going like getting relegated, but like not placing as much emphasis on the Premier League and the FA Cup, and really putting all our eggs and energy into the Carabao Cup and Champions League baskets. If you also remember and watched the last episode, we got to the final of both those competitions last season, but couldn't get over the edge against Arsenal and Liverpool. So this time out, we're gonna kind of see were we able to get over the hump? Could we capture those trophies? Did we go three-peat as Premier League champions? Kind of how do we do? So I'll go through like how we did in all the various competitions and whatnot, and then kind of board goals, transfer goals, and whatnot, as we usually do during these episodes. So we'll start with the Premier League. As you can see here, we did not go back to back. We finished second in the Premier League with 76 points. This is a kind of like interesting season in the sense that like in the past couple seasons, like there's been like it's been like the top like team, and then which is usually us, and then the team kind of we were in the title race with, kind of close behind, and then a bunch of teams like not so doing so hot like in the rest of the spots. This is a very kind of close title race, and like as you can see here with like 79 points, usually not good enough to win a title in the Premier League in the modern era, especially since Man City's been like 115 charging their way to like four Premier League titles in a row. 79 points usually is good enough. 70 points is usually like the bare minimum you need to get Champions League, aka finish in the top four. So this is a kind of interesting season. But as you see here, we finished 3 points behind Liverpool, and that was mainly because let me count here, middle index card I wrote down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different occasions. Because if you remember, because we weren't really emphasizing the Premier League, and I will kind of spoil the one board goal for this season by the board was to finish top four, not in the Champions League. So if we were like 4 points ahead or even like 3 points ahead or more of the team, actually not ever 3, it's 4 points ahead or more of the team that was in fifth, I would I would still do the roll because if I rolled like sim or the draw, I would just do those because they're fast. But if I rolled play, I would just simulate the match, and on 9 different occasions, on matches I would have won if I just played them, we either lost or drew. It was one, two, three, four losses, and then five draws. So if we even got like a couple of those like literally like one or two of those like matches went the other way, they would have went if I actually played them. We would have pretty handily won the title again. But because there wasn't really an emphasis, I was kind of trying to get to the meat and potatoes of the Carabao Cup and the Champions League. So it is what it is. We finished second, which is good. So the board's not going to get angry at us either. So I will take it. And two Premier League titles in this kick quest is pretty solid. So yeah, I guess next up is probably with the Community Shield, where surprise, surprise, we once again lost to Manchester City. No surprises there. 1-0 is what it is. Carabao Cup. Remember, this is one of our two kind of primary goals this season was to win the Carabao Cup after we lost to Arsenal in the final last year. And as you can see here, we did it. We got the Carabao Cup. We have added another trophy to our trophy cabinet in this kit quest. So Alejo Véliz and crew have really added to the Tottenham silverware. We beat our hated running rivals Chelsea 3-0 in the final. The goals in that match came from da, 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 da. James Madison with a Brian Heel assist. Marcus Edwards with an Alejo Véliz assist. And then Véliz to kind of cap things off once and for all with the Sergio Reguilon assist. And Alejo Véliz with the goal and assist was named man of the match. So it was a pretty resounding display. The randomizer was kind enough and rolled on play, so that's kind of how I know all this information and whatnot. But in terms of the journey of how we got to the final and won, let's kind of see how it went. Round 3, where were we? Here on this last page, we got matched up against Swansea in round 3. That was a play match, I'm pretty sure, with goals from Solanke, Lo Celso, Brace, and Luca Bacchio. So we kind of resoundingly beat them. Round 4, we got another pretty easy matchup against the lower league side, Burton Albion, who I'd never heard of before that We got matched up against them. Another player, I think, or a draw, and we got 2-0 win with goals from Ocampos and Solanke. Solanke, geez, I like butchered that for a second. And then starting the chorus, we started to get some more like harder Premier League level matchups. We got Leicester at home, beat them with goals from Solanke and Ocampos. Semifinals, we got matched up, as you kind of tell based on the stacking of the teams in this little thing. We got matched up against Newcastle. The first leg was, I think I simulated that. Wait, am I looking at the right thing? Yeah, I simulated that, I'm pretty sure. It was 2-2. Draw away from home with goals from Sanchez and Véliz. And then the second leg, I rolled and got play at the home leg, and we won 2-0 with goals from Lo Celso and Luca Bacchio. So we then got matched up against Chelsea in the final, which I kind of already went over. But so we picked up that. So we're the season already kind of success in that sense. We picked up another piece of silver that we didn't have already and added it to the trophy cabinet at Tottenham Hotspur. The FA Cup. Looks like Liverpool beat Brentford in the finals of the FA Cup. Let's kind of go through our journey here. Round 3. Oh, there we are. We got matched up against Northampton Town. And we got goals from Lo Celso and Daniliuk. I think that's how you pronounce his name. 2-0 win in round 4 of the FA Cup. Round 4, we were kind of unlucky in the sense that we got matched up against Wolves, which is a team Spurs have not done very well against in the past. I think like 1 win in their last 5 matches, the rest being losses. So that kind of led to the randomizer landing on Sim. And I kind of fielded out a rotated lineup because I was like, we've won the FA Cup before. I don't really care that much if we win or we lose. Rotated out the rotated lineup. Daniliuk scored again, but it wasn't enough. Wolves kind of shellacked us before then. We're up 3-0, and we lost 1-3. And then let's see how Wolves kind of did. Wolves got smashed by City, who then lost to Brentford in the semifinals, who then lost to Liverpool in the finals. So Liverpool capturing the FA Cup. Good for them, good for them. Let's look at the Super Cup. So that would have been City and Liverpool, I guess. City beat Liverpool 2-1. So City picking up kind of these like, what are somewhat still prestigious trophies. You have to like win something to be able to compete in them, but like they're not like ones you have to play like entire like campaigns worth the matches for. But they won that again. Let's go to the conference. Oh, I guess it's Euros time. 2028. Yeah. Okay. Conference League. It looks like Stuttgart from Germany beat Villarreal on pens. Good for them. The Europa League. PSG actually winning a European trophy. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought? Beating Napoli on pens. So is that like the exact same kind of basically like scoreline? Yeah, 2-2 and then 5-4 victory on pens. 2-2 and a 5. Wow, okay. But PSG won this time. Champions League. As you can see, we did that too. We did another double this year, beating Atletico Madrid 1-0 in the final with a pretty early goal from Marcus Edwards with a nice through ball by Sanchez on the right back. Sent Marcus Edwards in, sprinting past the defender and coolly slotting a nice little whipped left foot shot around Jan Oblak for the win. That was a play because the only time we've like ever played Atletico Madrid in like Tottenham's history was like I think basically like the equivalent of like the UEFA Super Cup like back in like the 60s when we beat them. So that was like I was gonna play that match no matter what. So that was pretty solid at the back, some good saves and blocks and whatnot. But our early goal, I was kind of able to play very defensive after that, play pragmatic and kind of hold out for the win, while still trying to kind of increase the lead. Because Véliz had a nice shot that was saved by Oblak, but let's see kind of how we got there. Group play, we're in Group A, a tight group with Inter Milan, Celtic, and Dynamo Kyiv from Ukraine. See here, we finished 4 wins, 2 draws. Our 2 draws, I think, were against, one was against Celtic, and the other was, I think, against Inter on the first match day. Yeah, for first match day, we drew 1-1 with Inter. But that's a pretty solid group stage from us. Round of 16, we got matched up against Dortmund. First match was the away leg. We won 1-0, which I rolled on play for that with a goal from Véliz. And then the second leg is here we drew 1-1. Another Véliz goal, so Véliz kind of carrying the team in this draw, and we were able to make it past Dortmund Quarterfinals, we got matched up against Bayer Leverkusen. And first leg, we lost 2-0. So we really had to kind of put the pedal to the metal in the second leg. And we did with an Alejo Véliz hat trick and a Nicolas Seawald goal kind of in the middle of that hat trick. So to kind of finish off Leverkusen, we popped out, I think, took a 2-0 lead. They scored, which then kind of made the draw equal again. And then or gave them the lead again. And then we scored 2 more to kind of finish them off. So it was a good match from there. Semifinals, I would have thought we would have gotten matched up against Atletico because like the way the things were stacked up, but I guess not. We got matched up against Barcelona. We drew the first leg 1-1 with a James Madison goal, and then the second leg we won 3-0 with goals from Véliz, Madison, and Marcus Edwards to advance to the final, which I'd have already explained how that kind of went. But we've now I was going to play the next season if we didn't kind of do the double here, but we did the double, so we've gotten, as I kind of say, their goal is to get at least one trophy. But if we're going to keep going, we want to try and get like all like the big trophies of the Premier League, the 2 domestic cups, and then a European trophy. So we have 2 Premier League titles. We have an FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and now a Champions League title. So we've kind of achieved everything there pretty much is to achieve outside like the Super Cups and stuff, but those never seem to go our way. So I'm not gonna like try and hold out and do that. So this is going to be the last episode of this series. So the next kind of series on the channel, not quite sure what it is yet. I have to like kind of look at my little calendary like document thing with it kind of has like what I want to kind of play next and whatnot in it. But again, once again, I will be acquiring one of the infamous Taupe Haze kits, which hopefully it should be easy to find considering they're pretty unpopular. And kind of the harder part that's probably going to be getting a Véliz name set. But again, I'll figure that out, and then the post will be on my Instagram at some point whenever it kind of gets all finished up and whatnot. And I'll put the link either in the description or the comments so you can check it out. But let's kind of now go through like the board goals and whatnot, even though it doesn't really matter because we're kind of adding the kit quest here. But just for kind of completionist sake, let's kind of go through it. So youth development was signed at least 3 players under the 20, blah blah blah, which I was trying to use like the players already had in our youth academy, but they didn't take one of them for whatever reason as like a thing. So like we're not gonna complete that objective, but it's whatever because it's the end. Brand exposure was get a wins and 5 cup match wins, which we got pretty much all those from going to the final and winning the final of the Carabao Cup. At the time, 3 players born in North America. There wasn't really anyone like based on our ingoings, outgoings. I was gonna fill in with people from there, so I kind of didn't do it. Short-term financial one was the finish season with a profit margin of 85 million pounds, which we were going to complete like it'll like check if we extend all the way to the end of the season. Domestic was finished top 4. We finished second, and then win the FA Cup, which we didn't. And then continental success was to reach the Champions League final, which we did and won it. So our confidence rating was here, at 77. I feel like it should be a little higher than that, but I feel like the profit margin one and whatnot would bump it up. But so that's pretty decent. So the board weren't going to get sacked, which is nice. So now I'll kind of go through transfers and whatnot, and like you can look at the stats that are on the screen here. So let me pull out my like piece of paper, which unfortunately got ripped, so some of it might be a little hard to read here. But we did 19 pieces of business, 17 in the summer window, 2 in the January window. But first kind of thing was some contract extensions. Dom Solanke gave him a 3-year extension, bumped his wages up pretty big because I think like we're kind of getting to that point in like the career but where players can ask for really big wages. So his wages went up like about 50,000 pounds to 115,000 pounds a week. He had a decent season. Didn't really play as much because Alejo Véliz has played a lot. Got 6 goals, 4 assists though. Most of that in the Carabao Cup, which isn't bad. Next up was Loic Bade, our center back, who's kind of really went well. He went up to 87 overall. I think his in-game like standard potential is like 84, so he's really solid for us. Played 52 matches, 1 goal in the Champions League, and 18 clean sheets, so he's doing pretty good at the back. Had a pretty crucial block in the Champions League final as well. Gave him a 4-year extension, bumped his wages, like basically doubled his wages to 125,000 pounds a week. Next kind of one was scrolling down here. Iago Santiago, gave him a 2-year extension, bumped his wages up to £35,000. Then later on, he went on loan to Porto in the Portuguese league. His overall bumped up nicely, but doesn't really matter because we're at the end here. The next big one was, this way's probably, there we go. James Maddison gave him a 3-year extension, bumped his wages up pretty much double as well to £240,000 a week. He had an excellent season, as you can see here. 57 appearances, 19 goals, 14 assists in all competitions, with most of those coming in the Premier League, as you can see there. 9 assists. I'm imagining that's going to be pretty close to the Premier League lead for assists, but who knows? After that was his kind of backup, his understudies competition, Gio Lo Celso. Gave him a 3-year extension, bumping his wages up to £100,000. He had a decent season, mostly coming off the bench. 7 goals, 7 assists in all competitions. It's pretty solid. Brian Heel here gave him a 4-year extension, bumping his wages up to £80,000. He had a good season. 8 goals, 6 assists in all competitions. I'll take that. It's like, 14? That's a pretty good amount from a winger. Then his kind of understudy, I was going to say he's retiring at the end of the season, which is why his overall plummeted to like 74. So he didn't really play that much. 3 goals, 1 assist, though. Not bad, I'd say, for someone who's kind of at the end of his career retiring. Our last extension was for Sergio Reguilon. Gave him a 1-year extension at £75,000 a week. He had a decent season, 4 assists in all competitions, most of those in the Carabao Cup. Though he did start in the 2 finals we played and did pretty well. So good stuff from Reguilon, who he did make the bench against Coventry. Also, we'll see. Maybe I don't know if he's in the European squad either. I don't think he is, but we'll see if he actually makes an appearance for Spurs this season. It'd be kind of interesting if he did, because it'd kind of sucky for him if he just sat on the bench all season. But it is what it is. Next big move, next kind of it's more ins and outs was Ashley Phillips going for £21 million to Leicester. Game gave me an A for that. Brandon Austin also went out the door for £720,000 or so to Stoke. Game gave me a D for that. They weren't big fans of that. Okay, and then kind of some loans was Matthew Craig here. Got loan to Southampton for a year. Radu Dragus. We kind of sold him for like about £20 million to not some club I never heard of. It gave me a C for that. And then Alfie Dorrington went on loan to Burnley. As I mentioned, Iago Santiago's loan. So now kind of the replacements for Phillips and Radu were Marco Friedel was Phillips' replacement as our backup left center back because he's left-footed. He came in for £10 million from Twente, which I think is in either the Dutch league or the Belgium league. Gave him a 2-year contract at £45,000 a week. Gave him an A grade for that. He didn't really make many appearances, just because we didn't go far in the FA Cup and all that. But in his 9 appearances, he was pretty solid with 4 clean sheets. Then also, who I kind of mentioned, scored a couple goals in the FA Cup, Flavio Staniluc. We signed him for £14.5 million from Saint Etienne. Gave him a 3-year, £45,000 a week contract, and game gave me a B grade for that transfer. He had a pretty decent season, played a little bit more, and he had his 2 goals in the FA Cup. Then our biggest transfer out was Mickey van de Ven, which I think was the biggest transfer out of both windows this season, for basically £37 million to Brighton. He gave me an A for that. And then his replacement, because there wasn't really any left-footed center backs, either that were from Austria or like from the Sevilla, Espanyol, or Rosario Central, that were kind of the required quality. I brought in a homegrown player to kind of swap out. Ashley Phillips was homegrown. We brought in 2 foreign players to kind of replace him and Dragusin. So I kind of brought in a homegrown player here to kind of balance the numbers out. So I brought in Jared Branthwaite from he plays at Everton now in real life, but he had been transferred at some point in this kind of career mode to Monaco. Brought him in for £54 million, signed to a 5-year, basically £100,000 a week contract. Gave him the number 14. That's what he wore during his England call-up, kind of right before the Euros, where and Gareth Southgate, being a moron, didn't pick him. But he gave me a B for that transfer, as I said. He had a pretty decent season. No goal contributions, but really solid at the back with 20 clean sheets to his name. Then the next one was kind of another like the Manor Solomon situation from a couple of years ago was Pape Sarr. Like he actually did get injured this time, so like the sequence of events kind of made somewhat more sense. But he got injured and then was all like, he came back, I let him play a little bit, and then he was like angry because I didn't let him play enough or something, and then he's like, I request a transfer, and I'm like, okay, bud, you can leave. So he left for £48 million to Real Madrid in the January window. Gave me an A for that, and then his replacement here was Nicholas Seiwald as kind of starting quality because Marcel Sabitzer, I assume if we continue to next season, would be retiring because his overall is like plummeting down, so he'd probably be retired next season, so I brought in a new starter. Nicholas Seiwald for £46 million from Leeds. Signed him to like a 5-year, £90,000 a week or so contract. The game gave me an A grade for that. He came in with 2 goals, 1 assist, so he scored 1 goal in the Champions League and then had a couple assists, which I'm pretty sure were also like all in the Champions League or the Champions League, or won the Premier League, won the Champions League. And he was pretty solid for us, bringing some nice energy to the midfield, though he did have a problem where like he got suspended during the Champions League, so it's like energy, which is like a really strange bug that EA hopefully fixes for FC25. His energy like wouldn't like change from like what it was when he got the card and whatever. So Sabitzer started a bunch of matches kind of in that portion of the season, but that's kind of neither here nor there. Kind of to scroll through one more time through everyone's stats and look at Veliz's stats and kind of evaluate them. But Trafford won the keeper of the season because of his 13 clean sheets in the Prem. Dohi was kind of the last player because like next season would have been him and Sarr, I think, kind of going out and bringing in players to kind of fit the themes. He was the last player left in the squad who didn't really fit the theme in any way, shape, or form. He had a decent season with 10 assists in the Premier League, so he actually might be the highest assists in the league. Bunch of youth players we don't care about. Friedel, Branthwaite, Danilic. Go through players they didn't cover. Here's Sanchez. He had a good season with some clutch goals and assists in the various competitions. Jed Spence, reliable off the bench as always. Limer doing good stuff in all competitions. Really growing up and overall. Oliver Skip doing pretty well, mostly off the bench. Sabitzer contributing. Seiwald. Madison Lascelles already went through. Campos and Healy went through. On the right wing, Luca Bacchio, pretty good season, mostly off the bench. Marcus Edwards having that clutch goal in the Champions League final. Pretty good goal contributions in the Premier League as well. And then lastly here we have Alejo Véliz. In 52 appearances, scored 45 goals in all competitions with 9 assists and 34 goals in the Premier League to make him, I'm pretty sure, Golden Boot winner. But that's pretty solid from him. I also forgot, I'll mention, I got like the Manager of the Year awards. There was a little cutscene for that, which will be like included in the video and whatnot, as well as like along with like the trophy presentations and whatnot. But Alejo Véliz absolutely smashed it out here. So this is a pretty solid kit quest, all things considered. We won one of each trophy that we could win, 2 Premier League titles, and then one of everything else. So I'd say that's a pretty resounding success. So once again, that's kind of it for the series. Next series might be another kit or jersey quest, or might be something else. Not really sure. I'll kind of see when it gets uploaded to the channel and whatnot. But thank you to anyone who watched this, and hopefully you will watch the next video, which will be the start of the next series as well. Once again, thank you.
issue is settled. A story of one side celebrating and the other distraught. Memories are being made.
Well, just look at those scenes down there, Derek. What a contrast in emotions. Brilliant for the winners, despair for the losers. But overall, the right team won today.
Yep, you can see what it means to this tight-knit team. Real solidarity.
Well, this is special for everybody at the club. What a great moment for any young player. And this is what you dream about when you start playing football. When you're playing in the playground, you want to win a cup. Brilliant moment.
Yes, a special moment in the career of any footballer. And now for the trophy lift itself. The cup winners.
Well, you can just see what it means to those players and the manager. That's fantastic stuff.
There's always the element of chance in a cup competition, but my goodness, they've taken the rough with the smooth, and now they savour the moment. Full marks to the entire team, and now they get the chance to exhale and enjoy.
They've been brilliant in this competition, and so have the fans. They've really got behind their team. They've played a big part in this win. Just look at those faces in the crowd. Great stuff.
And really a match made in heaven between players and fans. And these celebrations are going to continue for quite some time. And now the players get to relax a bit and enjoy having the pictures taken.
Well, these photos will be cherished for years to come, won't they? Certainly ones to show the grandchildren.
Now, Tottenham Hotspur have been crowned Club Kings of Europe.
Well, just look at the emotions out there. Joy and relief on one side, despair and heartache on the other. But we've got the right winners here. They fully deserved it on the night.
For these players, well, it's the night of their lives, and they're determined to enjoy every millisecond.
Well, they have to make the most of this, don't they? It's a great feat. What an achievement from them.
Well, they don't need to be reminded about what comes next. It's the presentation of the coveted Champions League trophy.
Well, there's some tired players out there, but what you can be sure of, they'll find some energy when they get their hands on the trophy. They'll be going mad in the next few moments.
Tottenham, Champions League winners.
Well, this is what they wanted. What a moment for these players. They've worked so hard to win this trophy. They've been fantastic.
And you can feel the emotion. It's natural to reflect on this final, but so much hard work has gone into the entire campaign. Memories, memories. Well, the celebrations are ongoing. I don't think they're going to be brought to an end anytime soon, as they savour the moment with their supporters.
And they've certainly played their part, the fans. They deserve to be involved with these celebrations. They've made so much noise here.
And it wouldn't be a big final without photograph time.
Yeah, these photographs will be cherished for years to come. Really top-class scenes here.